Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Diabolicals United series. In this episode, I want to talk about how you can keep your social advantage as an exotical. If you look on YouTube, a lot of women have spent decades talking about all of the advantages that we have in society. So I came up with a list of things that we can do to make sure that we stay on our pedestal. Number one, do not listen to hotep women. So women who are extremely monocultural, if you don't want to be in a monoculturally black space for the rest of your life, do not listen to women who have this hotep mindset. Think about it logically for a second. Where has their mindset gotten them? It has caused them to be male-centered. It has caused them to cape for men who don't cape for them. They have a pattern of constantly making women famous that they hate. Do not follow their mindsets. Do not follow their level up advice, because if you look at certain groups on a macro level and then you have people coming and talking to you about leveling up, but then as a collective you see that that group has not leveled up, it's obvious that it's a scam. Number two, let people think you have low self-esteem. A lot of people love saying, oh, these exoticals, oh, they have low self-esteem, they're just insecure, they just hate themselves, they're not even that pretty, they don't have social status, they're fighting to get to the top. Let them think whatever they want. If a person thinks that you have low self-esteem, that actually disarms envy. So it makes you seem non-threatening, it makes you seem relatable, it makes you feel more safe to be around. So let people underestimate you. It's okay if people underestimate your beauty. You don't have to prove your identity to others. You don't have to prove your racial mix to others. You don't have to go around showing people what your skin tone was when you were a baby, or you don't have to do all that. Just let them think that you're a fraud. Let them think you have low self-esteem, and then just go behind their back and be pretty and powerful. If you're into the art of seduction, by the way, this is the coquette archetype. I love using the coquette method when it comes to social climbing. So I let people sleep on me. I let people think I'm failing. I let people think that I'm basic. You never want to go and flex in front of people who already are known to be envious. So think about your hater archetype. Actually, I don't think I uploaded that video yet, but I'm going to be uploading a video on your hater archetype, how to spot your hater archetype and how to behave around them. The way that you behave around your hater archetype is just pretend that you're basic. Let them think that they won. Let them think they exposed you. Let them think they know everything about your beauty routine. A lot of people obsess over us exoticals' beauty routines because they want the beauty that we have. They want the results that we have. But if somebody is obsessing over my beauty, I just let them keep on guessing. Like, oh, how did she get her hair like that? Did she do a twist out? Did she do bantu knots? Is that a weave? What kind of makeup is that? I just let them keep on speculating, because remember, your haters, no matter what you do and say, they're going to believe something negative about you. So just let them think as negative as they want to. Let them think they got you figured out. And then that actually makes it easier for you to go in and outshine them if you ever need to. It makes it easier for you to clap back at them if you need to. So I'll give an example of how I used this in my real life. So there was this one girl. This is like a girl from back in my hometown. I think I talked about her before. She used to copy everything that I did. She was constantly asking questions about my hair. I have long type 3 hair. My hair is very shiny. And so she would always be asking everybody else around me, how does Exoticals United get her hair like that? How does she get her hair texture like that? Why is her hair so shiny? And instead of this girl coming up and maybe actually complimenting me or actually being nice, instead of her being nice and friendly with me, she decided to go and gossip and try to get intel about how my hair looked so good. Because in her mind, she was convinced that there must have been something fake about my natural hair. There was no way that my hair could naturally look that good. So for reference, this girl, she happened to have type 4 hair. And her hair was nice. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. Her hair was long and healthy. My hair was also long and healthy. I just think that I just had a different texture than her. And there were literally times where this girl was so obsessed. I overheard her asking someone. She was standing right behind me. She thought that I was dumb enough, or she somehow thought I was deaf, obviously. She thought I didn't hear her. She was literally asking her sister, is that a twist out? How does she get her hair like that? And I'm thinking, You're so insane. Like, why would you not just come up and ask me or just say, hey, your hair looks pretty? How can I do the same hairstyle? So she had this hater mindset because she didn't want me to know that she was trying to emulate my hair. She didn't want me to know that she was trying to emulate my beauty. She didn't want to compliment me because she viewed me as competition. So that's when I decided I'm just going to let her think what she wants. I'm not going to tell her anything. I'm going to pretend like I don't know that she's asking everybody and their mom how I get my hair styled a certain way. And I'm just going to let her keep on spiraling, trying to figure out my beauty. So she convinced herself that I must have dyed my hair in order to get it to be shinier because sometimes if you have dark hair, like if your hair is already dark or if it's black and then you dye it black, it can appear a little bit more shiny. Or if you wear those dark colored gels, it can appear shiny. So she convinced herself that I must have dyed my natural hair black a second time to get it to shine. So she actually went and she damaged her bra strap length type 4 hair. She damaged the fuck out of her hair because she couldn't ask me a simple question. So that's the power. That was me actually practicing my social power. My silence caused her to spiral because her ego wouldn't let her compliment me. Her ego wouldn't allow her to ask me for tips or, to just be nice. And so I just let her think whatever she wanted. I didn't go back and argue. I didn't say, hey, I overheard you talking and you think I dyed my hair. I didn't dye my hair. I didn't do a twist out on my hair. I've never in my life done a twist out. But because she was so determined and she thought that she could figure out what my beauty routine was, she convinced herself that I dyed my hair. So she went and dyed her hair and she had to continue dyeing it. Her hair was actually a brown shade. It was like it was slightly lighter than my hair color. So it was like a natural brown. So she dyed her hair black. She had to continue dyeing the roots black. And she was doing all this so that her hair could look more shiny. And she also started changing up her hairstyle. She started doing these twists. I guess it's called a twist out. She was doing this twisty thing with her natural hair to try to get it to lay down more similar to like how my hair did. And she kept doing this for months to the point where her hair growth actually stagnated. She actually began to lose her beauty by trying to emulate mine. And guess what? I didn't say anything. I didn't go and say, hey girl, I noticed you were doing this. Like I didn't dye my hair. I didn't try to explain myself. I didn't give any free beauty tips. I just sat there and watched her over the next year. I watched her spiral and gradually destroy her own natural beauty that she already had. And I did not go in to come and save her. That's another thing. I don't cape for women who don't cape for me. So the way that I was able to exercise my social power was I allowed her to think that I was manipulating my phenotype. I allowed her to think that I must have been somehow manipulating my hair. Because that's a common coping mechanism. They'll be like, oh, she must have dyed her hair. She must have relaxed her hair. She must have somehow manipulated her hair texture to get it to look so loosely curled and shiny like that. No, I just let her think that I had low self-esteem. I let her think that I was waking up in the morning and doing all these twists and shit and dyeing my hair. I let her think whatever she wanted. And I just sat back and watched as she gradually destroyed her own natural hair. And yes, that is actually diabolical. But to be fair, this girl, her and her friend group, they used to be kind of mean to me. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be a beauty guru for people who are going to talk shit anyway. But that is a diabolical tactic. Let people think that you have low self-esteem. Let them think that your beauty is not natural, and then watch them go destroy their face with fillers and lip lifts and all this other BS. Have you ever noticed those types of women too? Women do this in the plastic surgery world. They assume that somebody else must have had surgery. Oh, she must have had a BBL. She must have had this. And so those women will go out and waste thousands of dollars trying to look like how you naturally look. So no, don't defend yourself. Don't explain yourself. Don't try to prove to them that your beauty is natural. Let them think that your beauty is unnatural and then watch them chase after an invisible beauty standard that doesn't even exist because you were literally born that way, but they thought that you got a nose job or they thought that you got something done. So then they're out here saving up their money, spending their life savings, getting all these surgeries so they can compete with you. Just watch them do that. Watch them drain their bank accounts. Let them do that. Because that's a part of how you maintain your social advantage. You never want to give away all your secrets, and you definitely don't want to give away your secrets to those who dislike you anyway. No, just watch them spiral and destroy themselves. Diabolical tactic number 2 is to lie. Yeah, that's right, lie. So if you're applying for a new job and they say, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I'm not going to say that I see myself quitting and being an entrepreneur and never working a 9 to 5 again. No, I'm going to lie. I'm going to be like, oh, I see myself working here. Oh yeah, I see myself working in the field of finance. This is definitely my dream job. This is my passion. Lie. These companies are lying to you. They lied when they said that it's a great company to work for. They lied when they said they have a good benefits package. They lied when they said that they have a family atmosphere. That's one of the most bullshit talking points I've ever heard. Oh, we're like a family here at this company. That's a lie. So it's like, sis, other people are lying to you every single day. When you log on to social media, the way that a lot of those girls look is a lie. Catfishing is actually much more common than you think. I didn't realize how common catfishing actually was. So we live in a society that actually lies to you and tells you that lying is bad, but then you've got marketing companies lying to you. Oh, well, this cereal is really healthy because it's got 9 types of grains in it. And it's like, you know that cereal is filled with sugar and it actually contributes to people having diabetes. So you're living in a society where people are lying to you. They are deceiving you in several different ways so they can maintain their social advantage over you. We live in a society where it's kind of built on illusions. So think about it. Hollywood is like built on illusions. They have special effects in their movies. They Photoshop the images of certain people. They have these fake relationships and all that. They have like industry plants and stuff. So you're living in a society that already lies to you. So why would you then turn around and reveal all of your cards to everyone who comes into contact with you in the name of honesty? So yeah, that's right. I'm telling you to literally lie if it means that you can protect yourself, your family, your children, because everybody doesn't need to know your business. There are other women who are competing with Exoticals and they've been lying to us and pretending like they had a fake sisterhood with us. There are people who lie. There are men who lie to us all the time. You know, men are lying to you when they say, oh yeah, I want marriage. Oh yeah, I make $500K a year. Oh yeah, this car is paid off. Other people are lying to you all the time. And so this video is about self-preservation. Okay, it's not about morals. I didn't come on here to prove that I'm a good person. I never said that I follow a particular set of morals. I get to pick and choose what morals I follow. I get to be a hypocrite whenever I feel like it, because other people are hypocrites all the time. There are people who try to look like Exoticals while simultaneously bashing Exoticals. So don't listen to those people who say, oh, well, you wearing makeup, that's a form of lying. You know, you're being dishonest about how your face looks. You're being dishonest because you didn't tell me exactly how you did your makeup. You didn't tell me that you got some Botox. You didn't tell me that you did XYZ. No. You are in charge of the way you want to be perceived. Perception is very important. Perception is other people's reality. And so the advantage that we have as Exoticals is that people have multiple different perceptions of us because we either are mixed or we look mixed, even if we're monoracial. So that is something that can be played to your advantage. So another form of lying is actually omission, so omitting certain things. So just allowing people to believe what they want. Like in the case of the girl who really seriously thought that I must have dyed my hair or somehow put chemicals on it to kind of manipulate the textures. And it's like, no, I'm actually just a very skilled hairstylist. I know how to make things work for myself, but I just allowed her to think whatever she wanted. I omitted certain information. I don't owe anybody all of my information. So for example, if people are asking you like, oh, where do you get your clothes from? Where do you get your makeup from? Did you know that I actually had somebody who refused to tell me where she got her lipstick from? Isn't that petty? But at the same time, technically, she's not wrong. She doesn't owe me any information. She doesn't owe me anything. So when I saw her, this was actually in college. There was this girl, she had a very pretty burgundy lipstick on. I love burgundy lipstick, like in the fall. Oh my God, that looks so cute. And so I was like, oh my gosh, your lipstick is so pretty. Like, what lipstick is that? Where did you get that from? And she was like, oh, I forgot. That bitch didn't forget. She could have easily taken her lipstick out of her purse right there and looked at the brand. She could have easily gone back and said, oh, let me text you the name of it when I get a chance. Or I forgot where I got this from, but it was on Amazon. No, she chose to not give any information, and technically, she doesn't owe me any information. It is not her responsibility to be my professional makeup artist. It's not her responsibility to tell me all the correct shades and all the best brands to go to. Like, that's not her responsibility. She is not my personal shopper. So even though in the moment I felt like, wow, that was petty, at the end of the day, she's technically not wrong. She was just using a diabolical tactic because she felt like, that's my business. It's none of your business, basically. And a lot of celebrities are really good at this. So I saw a blog post. I saw a post on Krusty Lip Alley where they were talking about Lori Harvey. They were talking about her hair. They were trying to figure out if her hair is real or if she just wears lace fronts and just cuts the baby hairs, or if she perms her hair and maybe she just like cuts the front of it to get those hairs. So they were over here spiraling, trying to figure out Lori Harvey's hair texture. And then they came to the conclusion that she must be flat ironing her hair and then putting hairspray on it to make it look like it's wet, and that she really has 4C hair, and so that's not her real hair texture. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, this is exactly why celebrities like Lori Harvey, this is why they don't come online and try to tell everybody what they're doing. Because no matter what, there are always going to be people who think you're a fraud. There are always going to be people who think you're not that special, your hair texture's not that special, you're not that pretty, you're just regular. And so celebrities, I've noticed they're very good at picking and choosing what information they reveal to others. And so as an exotical, we all know that we are the pretty girls. We get treated like celebrities. We have been privileged, both in the Black community and also in the non-Black community. We get privileged because of our phenotype. We have people who naturally pedestalize us, or they naturally want to look like us, or they want to create children who look like us, or they want to date non-Black people who look like our non-Black ancestors. So that's already like 3 forms of social power right there. But another thing that I've seen some pretty girls do, and this technically falls under lying, it is the women who downplay their success, or the women who don't flex. So the women who, they don't have all the flashy jewelry, they're not driving the most fancy cars, they're not out like showing off their money and stuff. That's actually a form of strategic lying or strategic omission. You're omitting certain information. You're not telling people how luxurious your life actually is. Because number one, you don't want to trigger people, and number two, you don't want to become a target. And with these tactics, you don't have to use them all at once. Like, the way that I do it is I pick and choose when I want to downplay certain things. Like when it comes to dating, for example, oh yeah, I'm definitely not. That's not something that I just go around talking about. I've had women get so obsessed with my dating life to the point where they will actually ask to see pictures of the men that I'm dating because they assume that because of the way I look that I must have access to men who are maybe more attractive, or maybe they have more money. So I told you guys, I think I said it on here or on the Patreon. Actually, I think I said it on the Patreon. I told a story time about one girl in particular. She was so obsessed with my dating life. By the way, she was married. She was so obsessed with my dating life to the point where she actually asked if she could log into my dating app. She asked me to pull it up on my phone so she could see who was in my messages. And then she actually looked in my messages. I actually allowed her to do it because I was like, this is insane. Like, this would make a great story time. So I allowed her to look inside of my little messages, and she literally commented that all the guys in my app were all light skinned. And she was like, I don't see any darkies in here. So first of all, isn't that interesting? You got somebody who is Black identified calling people darkies. That's number one. But also it's like, people are so obsessed with your life to the point where they will literally memorize the actual skin complexions of the men that you date. They will memorize their faces. They want to see what does he look like, or how much money does he have, or like what kind of date did you have. I remember actually this past Valentine's Day, I had announced on my channel that I am purposely going to do my own Valentine's Day by myself. I am not going to try to date or something or try to make it male-centered, and I'm definitely not going to be sad, because that's a part of me decentering men is I celebrate myself on Valentine's Day. So I had specifically told all of my friends, I already told them, on Valentine's Day I refuse to do anything. So do not try to hook me up with any of your guy friends. Don't tell me that so-and-so wants to take me on a date. I don't want to go. So after I had already announced that I was not doing anything for Valentine's Day, after Valentine's Day passed, one of my friends was like, oh, hey, how was your Valentine's Day? Like, what happened? So she was assuming that I probably went back on my word, or she was assuming that there must have been somebody so enticing to where I just had to say yes. I just had to go on the date. I just had to accept the flowers. And I was thinking to myself, why do you even care what I was doing on Valentine's Day? Like, women will create such random ways to compare themselves to you. They're over here comparing what you did on Valentine's Day. And I told her, I was like, well, I did exactly what I said, which was, have my own day to myself, have my own little spa day. I didn't do anything with any guys. But people are tracking you. Believe it or not, a lot of women are, they're tracking you, they're monitoring you, and they are what I call monitoring spirits. When you are on a pedestal, you automatically attract monitoring spirits. So yes, there are women who they're memorizing your vacations. I know that's another one too. Have you ever been around people like that? They want to ask you like, oh, what kind of vacation are you going on? They're obsessed with what you're doing. They're stalking your Instagram. They want to see like how many vacations you go on versus how many they've gone on. And so that's why I just omit certain information, which is technically a form of lying. I just don't tell certain pieces of information. So no, it's none of your business if I'm going to Turks and Caicos. It's none of your business if I'm going to Mexico. It's none of your business if I'm going to Puerto Rico with somebody, or if somebody else paid my rent or whatever. That's none of your business. So I like to keep my privacy as much as I can. Number 3, trauma bond. Yeah, that's right. There are certain cultures and there are certain types of women who have inferiority complexes where their goal is to trauma bond with you. So it depends on the scenario. I don't trauma bond all the time, obviously, because that's literally unhealthy. But if it benefits me, guess what? I sure will trauma bond. So an example of trauma bonding is like when you're in the workplace, let's say there's a Karen who's being super mean to you and she's like sending all these mean emails or whatever. I actually have cried at work before, and I'm not saying my tears were fake, but I actually have cried at work before, crying in front of others. Some people actually argue that that is a form of you trying to trauma bond with others. So, okay, if that's me trauma bonding, then hey, so be it. Because sometimes you have to express certain emotions or you have to gain people's empathy on your behalf. Other people do this all the time. They create YouTube videos called I Hate My 4C Hair, and they do that because they want to empathy bait, they want sympathy, or they want to trauma bond. Some people argue that Cassie, with the whole Cassie and Diddy thing, a lot of people were arguing that, oh, she was just trying to use her essay as a way to trauma bond with other women so she can gain empathy. Okay, well then she succeeded. If that's truly what she was doing, then kudos to her, because that's a form of turning your actual trauma into money. That's a form of alchemy. That's a form of transmutation. You're basically transmuting something negative into something positive, and you're getting revenge on the people who harmed you. So if that type of trauma bond helps you to gain justice, I'm not against that. And also when it comes to getting black privilege, this is why you see a lot of MLS women saying things like, oh, I go through the same thing. White men see us both as just black. Okay, she's saying that because she wants her pedestal in the black community. And I will never shame people for that. I will never be against women doing that. So as an exotical, you have access to both black privilege as well as a form of non-black privilege. So the way that a lot of people attain their privilege in the black community, it's via trauma bonding. They will talk about how their white side was racist towards them, or, their non-black family abandoned them. And then that soothes the egos of a lot of people who have inferiority complexes. It shields them from being made fun of. It kind of shields them from ridicule. So it just kind of depends on your brand. It depends on what community you want to make money off of. A lot of celebrities do this. A lot of exotical celebrities, they make money specifically off of the black community. So they're going to trauma bond with the black community because that's their demographic. That's who they make money off of. That's who gives them the pedestal. Nicki Minaj is a good example of this. Like, that's who gives them the pedestal. So of course they're going to trauma bond with them. I've seen Nicki Minaj talking about her experiences with like racism and stuff, but we all know Nicki Minaj is obviously mixed race. She looks very ambiguous. She literally keeps her hair black. If she didn't have black hair or like these quote unquote black hairstyles, she could literally pass for something else. I mean, if we're just being honest. But a lot of MLS women in the industry, they do a good job of utilizing a form of trauma bonding to help them to gain their pedestal in the black community, if they want black privilege. So that's why people say, oh, you're jumping in and out of blackness. Well, the way that they jump into blackness is via a trauma bond. Isn't that sad? But yeah, that's a different video. So the way they jump into blackness and the way that they profit off of black culture is by trauma bonding within the black community. And then, the black community will be like, okay, like I'm down with her because she suffered a lot. Like Beyonce is also a master at this. Beyonce, remember when she first went country and then people were like being racist and stuff? And then like Beyonce's PR team was going out sharing all these articles and like images on Instagram, kind of making Beyonce out to be like this victim of racism. Like, oh, she couldn't cross over into the country world because, they're just so racist. Meanwhile, Beyonce is one of the most privileged women in the world. She is a, millionaire, billionaire? She's literally a billionaire. So even if the country music industry were to reject her, that would not stop her from being a part of the top 1% or, a part of the top 0.1% of society. But because her PR team is so good, they were able to still help her to successfully be quote unquote relatable. Have you ever noticed that in certain communities where they have inferiority complexes, the only way to be relatable to them is to share some form of trauma? This is why sometimes with certain music artists, people will be like, oh, well, her music is not deep enough. She only sings about pooping and farting, like Ice Spice. They were like, she's basically not vulnerable enough. But then when Ice Spice tried to open up and she made a rap about somebody in her family passing away, then people were making fun of her for being miserable. But all she was trying to do was she was attempting to bond with those who had inferiority complexes as a form of reverse psychology. Okay, so that's a very common tactic that we see. That's a common diabolical tactic that we see in a lot of communities. Actually, even in the Hispanic community. There was recently a thing, how there's like ICE and everything. I saw that some people from the Hispanic community, they were trying to talk about how, oh, I can relate now to unambiguous people who are black because they get profiled. Now we are getting profiled. So that's a form of attempting to trauma bond so you can gain the support of that community. So it works in a lot of cases. As long as you're doing it subliminally enough, like just don't make it obvious that that's what you're trying to do. And trust me, people will latch on to that. They love to latch on to a good victim narrative. People with inferiority complexes, oh yeah, they will latch on to that. They will rally behind you. So we see a lot of Exoticals using this tactic, and that's why I put it on the list. Diabolicals United, baby. Number 4, save money secretly. So pretend like you're not rich, pretend to be poor, pretend to be middle class or basic. You don't have to go around flexing everything, and then just secretly save money. So a lot of women who date, maybe they move in with a man or something, they have no money. That is a social climbing mistake. You always want to have a secret stash of money. So I don't care if it's a piggy bank under your bed. I don't care if it's one of those coin things. I used to have one of those little, it was like a giant piggy bank, and I would save all my coins. I used to put my money in the Coinstar machine, and then I would have like $40 or something. If you do content creation or if you have some sort of side income, which I highly recommend, like if you sell stuff on OfferUp, maybe you do lashes on the side, maybe you do makeup on the side, maybe you're doing some modeling on the side, you're doing some acting stuff. I don't know, whatever it is you're doing, you want to always have money secretly saved up. That was one of my biggest social climbing mistakes, especially in college, was I was always broke. I was always like spending the money that I had, even though I had jobs. Sometimes I'd have one job or two jobs, but the more money you save, the more peaceful you're going to feel, because then you don't feel like, oh shit, I just spent all my money. Now I got to go work again for another 3 weeks so I can replenish the money that I just spent. No, you don't ever want to be living paycheck to paycheck. In fact, I will actually tell my friends, like if my friends want to go out to eat and that doesn't align with my finances for that week, because I try to go week by week instead of going like month by month. So if I feel like, hey, I already spent $50 this week just on eating out, that's actually a lot. For me, that's a lot because I try to stay fit, and also I try to buy groceries as opposed to just only buying restaurant foods. So I will actually tell my friends sometimes, oh, I can come, but I'm not going to get anything because I'm saving right now. I'll just tell people that. So I don't care if they think I'm poor. I don't care if they think, oh, she must be broke, or oh my God, she can't get $20 takeout. No, I would rather use my $20 to go towards something else. So I have saved money before for something like a trip, or maybe like if I want to move out of the neighborhood I'm in. Maybe I want to save money for like a new car that I'm buying in cash. You guys know that I do not believe in car payments. I have never had a car payment in my life, and I don't plan to. So, having a secret stash of money is very important to me. You want to have at least, bare minimum, at least $1,000. Some people say 500, no, 1,000 minimum, especially if you're young, especially if you're like in college or in your early 20s, because you're going through a lot of transitions at that time in your life. So, if you're transitioning from high school to college or college to like adulthood, or maybe you're transitioning out of a relationship, maybe you're thinking of leaving a relationship or something like that, maybe you just had a baby, whatever it is, you want to have a secret stash of money. So let people think you're poor. Who cares? If my coworkers ask me to go out to eat every single day, like I remember I literally had coworkers, they would eat out every single day. I'm like, oh my God, you're spending $25 every day to go eat this crappy food? No, I'm not doing that. Couldn't be me. I'm not spending $25 a day, 5 days a week, just so I could fit in. So I don't care. I just let people think that I'm broke. I let them think that I don't have the money, and then I save money secretly behind their back, and then I pop out with like a new hairstyle or something, whatever it is that I was saving up for. There's no such thing as, oh, that's dumb for you to save up money for that. No, whatever your priorities are, you have the right to save money for that. So if you want to save money so you can afford to get like some braids next month or something, who cares? You're saving money. That's better than buying the braids on a credit card or something. So I like to use my savings as a form of leverage, because do you know how many times, like some of my most badass moments in my life have been when I've been able to walk out of a certain job, when I've been able to walk out of a relationship. I remember one time I was in a relationship that turned toxic, and I did not have a job. I had no job. This man had paid my bills. He literally paid the bills. And after I got fed up, I had been saving up just a little bit of money, and I was like, nope, I'm still leaving. He probably never thought that I'd be able to just walk out like that. He assumed that I had no money, and then because I had no job at the time, and I had so many other issues going on, like in terms of my driver's license, I had to get my license like renewed or whatever. So technically my license had expired. So I had so much shit. Like it looked from the outside, it looked like I had nothing going for me, but I had been secretly saving money. So I was able to go back to my home state because I didn't want to get a new license in the new area that I was living in. So in some cases, you're saving money so maybe you can like go somewhere and take care of some business. Maybe you want to get a new battery. Like I remember one time I saved up some money so that I could purchase a battery for this car. Somebody had a car in their garage that was like, it was basically like a bucket. I was in my 20s though, so I wanted a car and I didn't want to have a car payment. So I was like, all I have to do is save up $400 and purchase a battery for that car. The only thing that's wrong with the car is that number one, it's ugly. And then number two, it just doesn't have a battery. So if I just get the battery for a few $100s, I have free transportation. I have a car instead of having to take the bus and get catcalled and all this shit and deal with homeless people on the street. So that $400 was worth saving. So one of the things I've learned with women who have inferiority complexes, sometimes they give bad advice on purpose, or they try to convince you that you're stupid to save up money for college. You're stupid to save up money for next semester. You're stupid to save money just so you could drive this ugly bucket. And it's like, no, if it makes my life easier, then it's worth me saving for. So some examples of things that I have secretly saved money for, even though other people thought I was broke, is the car battery, saving money to like pay off certain things, like maybe a credit card, or if I have like a ticket or something. I have saved up money to purchase new clothes before, because I'm not one of those people. I don't like spending a whole bunch of credit card money, or how you go to a certain store and they'll be like, oh, do you want to open a credit card? I didn't want to get into that habit. So especially in my 20s, I knew that looking cute was important to me. So if there was a certain event coming up, like, oh, the homecoming is coming up, it's all the HBCU homecomings are happening, so I want to be sure that I have cute clothes, or I can buy some new jean shorts or whatever. So that's an example of something else that I've saved money for in the past. I have saved money to get like a new hairstyle or something, or maybe there's a certain type of makeup. I like to wear more luxury Makeup sometimes. All of my makeup is not luxury, but there are certain products, maybe like once every few months, I will be eyeing certain things where I'm like, okay, I want to pay for that. And I know that some people are like, what? $70 for a foundation? But it's like, if I saved up the money for it, if I saved an extra $70, then it's not a big deal. So that is another tactic you can use. Just allow people to think you're broke and then secretly save up money behind their back and then just live a better life than them. Or if you're living with roommates, that's another thing. Like, I've actually lived with roommates, and then as time goes on, my roommates can actually notice a socioeconomic difference between myself versus them because they assumed I was broke. I just let them think that I was broke, but I was secretly saving up money for the luxuries that I wanted to have. Like when it came to hair products, I had my little product junkie phase when I was about 19 or 20 years old, but I wasn't spending bill money on that. I was spending my extra money or like getting an extra job. I've done that before where I would have an extra job on the side just so I can make money. Number 5, start a social media account in silence. So you can start an anonymous channel. You can start an Exotical channel. I don't care if you copy what I'm saying, especially if you love Exoticals and you give credit. If somebody's copying the Exoticals and they're not giving credit, then I will call them out. But other than that, who cares? So you can start a social media account. People already look up to what you have to say. Exoticals are so powerful. We are perceived as so beautiful and powerful to the point where we don't even have to show our faces. Literally coming on the internet and simply saying, hey, I have XYZ privileges, and then just talking about it. That's how powerful we are. We don't even have to prove ourselves by showing our faces. So it's like, as an Exotical, you have social media privilege already, whether you're faceless or showing your face, because people are more likely to click on your natural hair videos than some other women's natural hair videos, according to their own talking points. So people on the internet are literally giving you the blueprint to success by telling you what your privileges are. Oh, and by the way, that's another diabolical tactic, is to pretend that you don't have privileges and then secretly go behind their back and then attain your privileges. So, for example, pretending like you think you're not that cute. A lot of women do this. They have like kind of this fake humility, or they don't necessarily flaunt their beauty at work, but then maybe when it's time to pop out somewhere, then they flaunt their beauty, or they don't talk about the attention they get from others, and then they're just behind their back, they have 10,000 followers. Like there was this one girl actually at one of my old jobs. She was a fellow Exotical, and she was very pretty actually. She was a nurse, and she had like a baby and everything. So at work, she came off as just this down home, quiet girl who's not really doing that much. She's just working her nursing job. But I looked at her. I remember thinking she probably has so much going for herself. She is too chill. She is too relaxed right now. Like this Exotical, she's so pretty. I swear she must be doing something with her beauty, because when it came to the job, she never got stressed out. Even when people talk shit, she didn't get stressed out about losing her job. She didn't care about fitting in at the job. She would just mind her business and take care of her baby, and she would just talk about her son, and that was it. And so I remember one day I asked her like, oh, what is your social media? Like, so I can follow you. And then she gave me her social media. This girl had like 16,000 followers. She was literally like an influencer. She was an influencer on the side. So she was not worried about what people were thinking. She allowed people at that job to think that she was just basic or that she was just another employee. Meanwhile, she was popular on social media. Nobody else at work knew that she had that social media account. And I think she was smart for doing that. She was smart for not telling all those catty ass women. She was smart for not saying, oh yeah, I'm actually an influencer on the side. And her social media account was not linked to her government name. So that's another example of social climbing. It's having social media accounts. It's using your privilege on social media. People are more likely to click on your videos because people naturally put you on a pedestal, especially if you talk about something like dating, relationships, soft life. I mean, those are the channels where Exoticals thrive. Exoticals are dominating in the social climbing space on YouTube. Whether they use the term social climbing or not doesn't matter. When I think of the soft life and kind of like black women in luxury, I'm thinking of MLS women. Just being honest. I think of like Lori Harvey. I think of other mixed race women like Justine Skye. I'm thinking of like Bernice Burgos. I'm thinking of the women from like Love and Hip Hop, Baddies. So whether they're ratchet or whether they're more classy, the majority of kind of this social climbing, hypergamy, black woman in luxury, soft life sector on social media, it's almost always dominated by exoticals. So that's another diabolical tactic. Just go to where your phenotype is dominating. I mean, we are dominating in damn near every field, according to other people's talking points. So music industry, modeling industry, acting, Hollywood, social media. So if people are not treating you with respect at your 9-to-5 job, this is why you see some girls where they have a 9-to-5 job and they also are like a bottle girl or a bartender. So wherever your beauty gets celebrated, like in the nightlife culture, they love exoticals in the nightlife culture. Go to any restaurant, go to like those hookah bars, go to like all those restaurants where they have the pretty girls serving the drink. I mean, it's almost always majority exoticals. And I'm not saying that other women can't do it. I'm just saying, this channel is for exoticals. So that is something you can do. If you're not being celebrated in one space, go and take advantage of your social media privilege, your pretty privilege. You have so many opportunities. There's no excuse for you to be financially struggling if you are a part of the Pretty Girl Club. And if you are financially struggling, I think in a lot of cases, you've probably had people trying to sabotage you, so that's what like ticks me off, is seeing how men will try to sabotage you. Like if you're pretty, they want to sabotage you. They want to try to abuse you. Or jealous mothers, jealous family members who try to do all this witchcraft and all this bullshit. So most of the time when we are struggling, it's because others have systematically tried to keep us down. And I'm not just talking about, the economy or whatever. No, I'm talking about actual family members and actual friends have literally tried to sabotage pretty privileged exoticals specifically from the time we were young. So if you are poor, it's going to be easier for you to social climb anyway, as long as you get out of these toxic environments, secretly save up your money, use any and every privilege that you have to get out of poverty. Oh, something else that I used to do too, like when I lived with roommates and I didn't want them in my business, number one, my roommates, they can't just come in my room. They can't just walk in my room and start looking through my shit, because that happened to me before, where girls would look through my shit and then they would see that stuff was cute, or they would be shocked like, oh my God, look at all this makeup. Look at all this MAC makeup. MAC is not even that expensive, but I was around broke ass bitches who were so obsessed with the fact that I had like some eyeshadow palettes in my room and stuff. But one of the social climbing tactics you can use is to get cute stuff. Like if you want makeup or like clothes, let's say you still want to look classy. I have done thrifting before. Like I used to shop at the thrift shops back when I was younger. Like when I really had no money at all, guess what? I'm skinny. I have a nice body. So I could walk into a thrift shop and I can pick up a size extra small, silky button-up shirt and then look like I'm expensive. And sometimes thrift stores have really expensive clothing. They have like nice designer clothes, especially the ones from like the 90s and stuff. Like I got some stuff from Halston that used to be like a popular brand back in the day. But from the outside, I looked like I didn't really have a lot of money, but I found a way to make my small amount of money work for me. So I remember one time I saved up $40 and I went shopping. I went on a shopping spree with $40 at the thrift store because that's how cheap their stuff was. They would have shirts for like 75 cents. And they were shirts that nobody wanted, but I knew how to like cut up the shirt or how to put like different things on it, or like, the brooches. I don't know if they even still wear those. Actually, no, people still wear those. But it depends on the aesthetic you're going to do. So I used to get jewelry and stuff from the thrift shop. I found a way to make it work for myself, basically. And I learned how to have other skills that could supplement me on my social climbing journey. So even though I lived in the same house with these roommates, I was living a different lifestyle. Because I remember other girls, they would also comment like, how does she have so many high heels? Well, it's because I would get all my shit cheap. I would wait until they had the sale at H&M, or I would get them a size too big, half a size too big. So it was like a less popular size, so maybe it was cheaper. I had so many random like ways to be thrifty and frugal, and it helped me to social climb. Because a lot of other girls, they didn't know what to wear, so then they'd be spending $900, $1,000, spending hella money on this sew-in that's going to break off their hair. Actually, I remember there was this one girl, this was like back in school. She was mean to me. This was like in college. And she had, I think it was probably type 4A hair texture. And she kept doing silk presses like once a week. She would do silk presses all the time. Like she would put the temperature on the hair thing, she would put the temperature super high. She didn't use the heat protectant. She didn't know what she was doing when it came to blow drying and styling her hair. And this was one of my suite mates. So you guys know, if you went to college, you know that you'll have different like dorms or apartments or whatever. So you go through so many roommates over the course of like 4 years. But she was one of my suite mates for that semester. And I knew how to do hair. I could have helped her. I could have told her, oh, yeah, you just have to do it like this. And for your hair texture, you may want to stretch it out a little bit. Maybe you want to put some sort of serum or something, just a little something on it to kind of protect it a little bit more. You want to moisturize the ends at night. There were so many steps to her hair process that she was not doing. But because she had been mean to me and because she had been hating on me, I didn't tell her shit. I just let her burn off her hair every single month. Her hair was literally getting shorter and shorter. I don't know if she noticed it or what. Like, I don't know if she noticed it. It would be very silky and like Slade or whatever. But yeah, it was definitely breaking off and it was definitely her method of styling. So I didn't tell her anything. I just allowed her to burn off her hair over time because I was like, well, I'm not going to help somebody who doesn't help me. And by the way, that's another diabolical tactic. If there's somebody that you don't really like, or if she's kind of mean to you, don't tell her when she looks bad. No, just let her go out looking bad. Don't tell her that that Instagram picture is a bad angle, or that she looks horrible, or that that makeup doesn't match. No, I don't say anything because first of all, she's probably going to get defensive, and she's probably going to be mean and like get mad or whatever. I just let her go out and just ruin her own look. I just let her ruin her own life. Because remember, women who have inferiority complexes, they're always going to self destruct. They don't know how to social climb. So I just allow them to just self destruct. I don't have to go out and destroy them myself. No, I just let them go and make a fool of themselves. I let them convince themselves that they're the most desirable woman on the earth and they're the most privileged and whatever. I just let them think whatever they want. And then I get my popcorn out as I watch reality unfold. And for the exoticals who do start a social media channel, let's say you start like a beauty or a lifestyle channel, have you ever noticed that, first of all, the exoticals are dominating that space? But have you ever noticed that a lot of exoticals, they don't share everything? They don't put all the details of their entire beauty routine, and they don't tell you that they got their teeth fixed. They don't tell you that they got a little boob job. They don't tell you that they got Botox 6 months ago, or that they are putting this special serum on their edges to grow their edges out. They don't tell you every single little detail of their lives. They don't overshare. So that's another tactic, is to not overshare. Just let them think what they want. Do not tell your biggest secrets. Especially if it's some sort of beauty secret that you really like. Your beauty is sacred. I talk about this a lot on this channel. Your beauty is sacred. So you actually don't have to tell anybody anything you don't want to tell them, especially if it's stuff that's been passed down to you from your family. No, then don't tell them. Like in my family, everybody in my family has long hair. Everybody. Doesn't matter what texture it is. 4C, 4B, 4A, everybody has long hair. That's because on my mom's side, they all have a special way that they do their children's hair. And they basically help the children retain length so that by the time we all get older, we already know how to like maintain our natural hair. We know how to cut it, then grow it back out in a few months or whatever. So if you come from generations of pretty privileged women, or if you have almost like these sacred beauty routines in your family, that's nobody else's business. You don't have to tell anybody that. But some women with inferiority complexes, they're trying to prove their beauty to you. They want to prove their beauty to society. So that's why you see them telling all their business. That's why you see them telling you like how they glue down their lace and how they do all this other stuff. And like they're exposing it. So then everybody's copying it. So then it's no longer special. It's no longer their signature look. For those of you who care about having a signature look when it comes to beauty, a part of why some girls get called basic is because their aesthetic is basic. They look just like everyone else. They do their hair just like everyone else. They do the beauty routine just like everyone else. Oh, this is my everything shower. This is how I do this. It's like, if you just copy everybody else, you can't get upset when you literally look like everybody else. That's why you had women trying to figure out Lori Harvey, because her hair, something as simple as having baby hairs, for God's sakes, that was enough to make people obsessed. It was enough to make her memorable. So if you have a certain aspect of your beauty that makes you memorable, and especially if it came from your family lineage, maybe they have special hair teas and stuff. Like I've seen some people in like the Arab communities where they have their own rinses and stuff that they make for their hair. So if you have something like that, you don't have to share it, even if you are on social media. That's why a lot of the Exoticals, you see that a lot of us have a lot of mystery on social media, even the ones who show their faces. That's why when you go on Lipstick Alley, you have all these women with inferiority complexes trying to investigate those women. Like, wait a minute, how did she do her hair like this? Wait a minute, how did she lose all that weight? Hey, who's her boyfriend? How did she get access to this rapper? How did she get access to that? They're doing all these investigations because those Exoticals were smart enough to share just enough, but they still kept a little bit of mystery in there. So they allowed their beauty or their status to still remain unattainable. You want to have a little bit of this unattainable aspect of yourself. So whatever it is that you want to be unattainable about your life, you get to pick and choose. If it's an unattainable dating life, an unattainable type of beauty, an unattainable type of body, an unattainable type of like having pretty white teeth. Have you ever noticed that there are some people where their teeth look extra white, and then there are some people where they have nice teeth, but they're just a little tiny bit yellow? So it's the small details like that. That type of stuff helps you in terms of social status. Number 6 is to have multiple streams of income. If you do not get anything else from this YouTube channel, I beg you, please get more than one stream of income. Please do not rely on this 9-to-5 job with these inferiority complex having beluga Karens. Please don't rely on belugas to supply your financial stability. Always have a second source of income. Oh, I don't know what to do for my second source of income. Okay, then you have no choice but to get another job then. If you don't know how to do entrepreneurship, okay, you have to get another job then. So you can do bartending on the weekends. You can do your regular job during the day. Or you can do, like I have some friends where they have like 2 nursing jobs. They'll have the regular nursing job, then they'll have like another one on the side. I've met some girls where they do like caregiving on the side and then they do like hairstyling. So whatever it is that you need to do to get more than one stream of income, I'm begging you, please do that. Even if it's something like selling on OfferUp. Sell your old furniture. Sell all of your old like designer bags and all that. You can put that stuff on Poshmark. I think it's Poshmark or like a Depop. Whatever it is you have to do, you want to create passive income if you can though. So passive income, like YouTube, technically it's a form of passive income because you do get paid off of your past videos. Number 7 is to get a second contracted job of some sort. If you are not into the whole 9-to-5 culture, you can do temp work. I recently met this girl. She's a fellow pretty exotical. She just does temp work, and then she goes to like networking events in the evening. She goes to mixers and stuff, and she basically creates time so she can build herself outside of the traditional workforce. So in terms of the art of seduction, by the way, this aligns with the rake from the 48 Laws of Power. So the rake is the person that works outside of traditional structures. So for example, let's say you want to be a model, but you don't want to go to a modeling agency because they are gatekeepers. Just do it on your own. Look online for promo modeling jobs. You can do like Instagram modeling. That's an example of working outside of a traditional structure. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like gatekeepers, then you can do something that doesn't require those gatekeepers. Number 8, once a month, schedule a self-care appointment or a medical appointment. This is a part of how I maintain my social status. A lot of people, they don't know that every month I'm going to get a lymphatic drainage massage and how that contributes to having a flat stomach or weight loss. Look at all of the people you see that are pretty. Think of the most pretty person you know. Think of the most leveled up person you can think of. Is it a celebrity? Well, celebrities, if they're singers and stuff, they are doing voice lessons. They are doing like dance practices. So they have different appointments and they have their schedule aligned with their level up goals. So I try to do different forms of maintenance, whether it's for my actual health, like going to the doctor, going to a dentist, going to like, I don't know, get my spine checked or get like some some gastroenterology work or something like that. Whatever it is, I try to do something that helps me once a month. Okay, so whatever aligns with your seduction strategy, whatever aligns with your social climbing strategy, your self-care should not end at getting a manicure and pedicure. Like I've seen so many women, they have the cutest acrylic nails. They're getting their nails done every 2 weeks and they don't have maintenance when it comes to their mindset. They don't know how to maintain their diet, but they know how to maintain their nails. They don't know how to maintain their financial status, but they know how to maintain some acrylic nails. So I try to keep the same energy in every area of my life. It's to the point now where I try to do like once every week or once every 2 weeks, but I know that's not feasible for everyone. So I would say a minimum of once a month. Get some sort of dentist appointment, some sort of doctor's appointment. Yes, you can tell who hasn't been to the dentist in a long time. You can definitely tell. And in terms of seduction archetypes or like the 48 laws of power, this is the siren. Okay, the siren, she lives in this state of cultivating her allure. She is cultivating her image. She is practicing selective authenticity. So like I said, a lot of people who get their teeth done, I've noticed for whatever reason when it comes to dentistry, a lot of people don't tell you when they've had braces. They don't tell you they had Invisalign. They don't tell you that they had braces. They don't tell you they go get their teeth whitened once a month. They don't tell you that their 2 front teeth are fake and that they have veneers in the front. They don't tell you that. They just let you admire their beauty. They let you think that you know it all and they let you struggle. You're over here dental flossing every day. You're over here using the Crest white strips. Meanwhile, they're going to get their stuff professionally done. And no shade against the whitening strips. I think that stuff does work. But there's an easier way to do it. Sometimes you need the help of a professional. So whatever it is that you're not good with keeping up with at home, because you can't do everything at home. Like you can't give yourself a massage at home. It's not going to be the same as somebody else who can kind of feel the muscles in your back and stuff. So that's what I try to do. Once a month, I'm getting some form of maintenance. And yeah, that helps me keep my social advantage. My skin looks fantastic for my age. And part of it is because I get facials or, whatever it is that is causing you to receive the most compliments and social status and pretty privilege. You want to keep on doing that. Getting your hair done, like going to a natural hair salon. They have natural hair salons. They have Dominican salons, whichever one works best for you. When you go to the salon, by the way, I was thinking about eventually going to the salon and like maybe I don't get my hair styled, but I get some other treatment. Because I noticed at some of the natural hair salons, you can get like your scalp steamed. I've never even heard of that. So I was like, oh, wow, that sounds cool. Like that sounds like a cool experience, getting my scalp steamed or getting like a very special deep conditioning treatment. They have like these Ayurvedic spas. I don't know what to call it, but basically they follow Ayurvedic medicine and you can get like a scalp massage. So I love researching stuff like that. And just looking up like, okay, how can I do some unique version of self-care? Because remember, if you're basic, it's because your routines are basic. Your mindset is basic. Your looks are basic. Thankfully, for the Exoticals, we don't really have to worry about that. But for some other women who have inferiority complexes, a part of why they feel like they're basic is because their lifestyle is basic. The way they manage their money is basic. Their diet is basic. They eat fast food once a week like the majority of the population, and that's why they look like it. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.